Hello and welcome to Stamp with Angela. Today I'm going to show you how to use the different Big Shot platforms and plates and things with your Big Shot to do both die cutting and embossing. So Stampin' Up! Now has its own emboss and die cutting machine, but you may have a Big Shot and you may be wondering how to cut or emboss with Stampin' Up! Dies and things. So I will show you. When you get your Big Shot, it will come with the Big Shot platform and a thin adapter and 2 plates. You can see one of mine here has been well used and the other one, which is over here. Okay, so to die cut, so let's say I want to die cut this circle out. So I need both the platform and the die thin adapter. I'm going to put down my cutting plate. So this is my well used one, cardstock and die, and then I'm going to put one on the top. So they are the layers, and then I'm going to get my Big Shot around the right way, put it through my Big Shot. Just line the plates up. You don't want them hanging over the edge because it'll scrape them. Just line it up, and you might need to push it a little bit to get it going, and then wind it through. As it goes through with the die cut, with the die, that part may be a little bit more difficult, but not too hard. All right, and there we go. It has die cut my circle. So the only other combination that you could use instead of the platform and the die adapter would be if you have a magnetic platform. So basically you use that instead of those two. So magnetic platform, your cutting plate, the one that's got lots of cutting on it, put down your cardstock, your die, and then your one on the top, and then put it through your Big Shot, just the same. So pretty straightforward with die cutting. Basically, if you think about it, your die is very thin, so you have to get the maximum thickness with these here. So either platform and die adapter with your 2 plates and the die in the middle, or magnetic platform. So now you ask, how about embossing? Well, there are a couple of different embossing folders, so you need to be a little bit more careful with this one. Because if you look at the thickness of a die compared to an embossing folder, they are very thin. This is thicker. We do not need the die thin adapter when embossing, so we'll move that away. This is just the standard thickness of an embossing folder. It is a slightly narrow one because they are designed to go into the new mini embossing machine too. So Big Shot platform at the bottom, 1 plate, get your folder and put your card in it. My card's actually a little bit thick for this, but that's okay. And then another cutting plate on the top and put it through. Ideally, a couple of things to watch. Don't push your card all the way up to the top, because there is a line where there's no actual embossing, so you'll get a straight line with nothing on it. So bring it down a little bit, like so. Put the closed end in first, so it's pushing on the end that's already closed. So let's just put that through my Big Shot. So again, line up the side so it's nice and straight. Just help it through and then wind. Let's take a look. There we go, my embossed piece. Now ideally you would have cut a piece to size, but I just wanted to show you the narrower one there. Okay, so that is kind of your standard thickness original embossing folders. Stampin' Up! Now have some 3D embossing folders. We have this one here, which is actually by Sizzix. When Stampin' Up! Had their embossing folders made by Sizzix, now they are making their own. So they've both got Stampin' Up! On them. This one's got Sizzix, this one hasn't. And if you put them next to each other, I don't know if you can tell, but this one is a little bit thicker than this one. So how do you cut them? How do you emboss with them? So start with the Big Shot platform, and with this really thick one with the scissors on it, you put your embossing folder down, put your cardstock in, again not right up the top, down a little bit, straighten it up, and all you need is one embossing folder on the top, and you put it through your Big Shot. So this is the slightly older style, just got to help it to start with, older style embossing folder, so you only have one cutting plate at the top. So I'll show you again, the Big Shot platform, this very thick one, and one on the top, that's all. And then it creates this lovely design or embossing pattern here. If you have one of the newer embossing folders, like I said, it's not quite as thick, so if you put that on, it's not quite going to work. So what you need is an embossing plate. So we're going to put that in, put this one on, so it's Big Shot, embossing folder with cardstock, and this embossing plate, and put it through. And that's just the right thickness for this one. And here you have it, like so. Now if you put these next to each other, this one is just a little bit lower. So if you try and emboss this with that, it won't quite be thick enough. You would have to probably get a couple of extra layers of a shim or something. Oh, let's see what happens. Put it through. It's not even pushing, it's just basically I can sort of slide it through. It's not thick enough, it's not doing anything. So you would maybe need under here a couple of sheets of cardstock to make it just a fraction thicker, so it's the same thickness of the purple one. Okay, so just to summarize, with embossing, you need the Big Shot platform. With the thin folders, you need a sandwich. You need the two cutting plates, so one at the bottom. You need your cardstock and your embossing folder, and put it through like that. So that's just a standard cardstock. So platform, cutting plate, embossing folder, cutting plate. Okay, the thin ones. If you have the older style 3D embossing folder, which is quite thick and it's got scissors on it, platform, embossing folder with your cardstock inside, and just one cutting plate on top, put it through. If you have the newer Stampin' Up type of embossing folders, platform, embossing folder, obviously with cardstock, and use the embossing plate. Okay, and just a reminder, with die cutting, Big Shot platform, die thin adapter, cutting plate, your cardstock and die, and one on the top. Or instead of those, you can have the magnetic plate. Okay, so I hope you found that useful, and if you're using the Big Shot, you can remember what to do. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask, and if you like my videos, then please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.